Hey friends, happy Friday evening. It is Melissa with Junk and Craft Treasures on the Essential Stencil page. So if you are hopping on right now, then you are most likely on replay. So hashtag replay, let us know that you're here. I am going to be working with these cute bunnies tonight. I am so excited, y'all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get my surfaces prepped. I have a chunky piece of wood for one of these. So it is just a, I don't want to say it's a piece of scrap wood because chunky wood is actually really good, but I'm going to paint it. So we're not going to see all the imperfections on here. I am going to do it the opposite side of the knot, so I don't have the knot on my transfer. So we're going to take this side. All right, so we are using a 12 1/8, so it's almost a foot, by 7 1/8. So we're going to do base coat in the color and stencil in the white. So we are just going to use some chalk paint for the base. Okay, so we're going to use Tea Rose. It is a chalk paint. Okay, I'm going to do one coat, and I am going to leave a little bit exposed just because I love that look. So if you do not like the distressed or have like some of the imperfections on your wood, go ahead and paint it, y'all. This is just to kind of take things to different levels to show you ways that you can do things. So I'm going to leave a little bit of my wood exposed. I'm going to grab my dryer. I think we're good. So we've got our Tea Rose, which is kind of a really, I'm going to hold it back here because up against, you can tell that one little spot right there is not dry, but that's okay because we're going to put a stencil over it, so we'll get it dry. But it's a really light, pale pink, but it's really, really pretty. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to take my damask pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these up real quick. That'll be okay. So I was going to put him on this one because that would be really cute, and then her on the other one because it was wider and we would see more of the stencil. So this is one of the stencils that's in the damask set. They are the smaller 3-pack that was in my collaboration with Essential Stencil, and I had recently used it with some joint compound, but we're going to use it for a stencil now. So we've got our high grit sandpaper. I've got it dry. I'm just going to come through and sand it. And then I'm going to take a shop towel and just to show you, there's nothing really on it. And then we're going to wipe it, and that chalky, I can't see it there, but I swear it's there. That chalky residue comes off. Because we don't want to leave that on. It's hard to see, y'all, but it is there. We don't want to leave it on when we go to put our transfer on because we don't want that chalk to mess up the way our transfer adheres. Also, if you are using chalk paint and you are a little bit leery, thinking that your transfer may not adhere, you can do your finishing coat first and then come back and put your transfer on. So like you could use Mod Podge, any type of matte varnish. If you're doing matte, if you're doing shiny, you could do shiny. And then come in with your transfer. So we are going to take off the backer. I'll flip it over the other direction. This is what the back of it looks like, the sticky part. And for this particular one, I can line it up right on the bottom. Okay. And we're just gonna burnish. I said burnish, y'all. It starts with a B. We are gonna burnish. So I think, y'all, we don't have any creases or wrinkling, even though we had a little bit of imperfections in the wood. We had a little bit right here, nothing too bad. But I do want to remind y'all, when you do transfers, if you don't have a completely smooth surface, depending on your wood type and how your wood is, you might want to seal it before you do a transfer like this. So, okay, super cute with that pink. So, if you wanted to use a pink, we could even put a saying up here. There's enough room for a saying. I left some of the wood exposed, but we're going to put a stencil on here too, y'all. Let's take our stencil. We already have our paint out. So we're going to start. Just want to add a little bit of cuteness to that background. Okay, so we're going to add this all over around the sides. Light stenciling here. I know this is the stage where I get really quiet because I'm just adding that little extra on there. Okay, so we've just got a little bit of that extra fun around the top to fill in kind of some of that white space, and then on the sides. Go all the way around this piece, even on the bare wood. a little bit of dry brushing over some of that pink. And so we have a cute piece right here for our first one. All right, let's move on to our second one. And it's going to be on the back side of this. And we're going to use our green color. What is it? Mint julep. I'm kind of obsessed with the mint julep color. Now this one, let me show you what the wood's doing on this one. So when I was talking about imperfections on your wood, can y'all see what I'm talking about with the where the green paint is? Give me some hearts if y'all can see that, because that's how I communicate with y'all. But like right here, we've got little indentations on our wood. So those are some areas that you might have problems when you do a transfer. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. Just had one little area that was wet. All right, so we're gonna sand again. Here we go. All right, so let's do this one. What kind of paint do I recommend? I recommend what you can afford and what colors you like. That is my, that's my piece of advice for that. I told some people, or everybody on the live last week, my first paint that I started out with, that like I started buying in like more than full court or apple barrel, was Sherman-Williams, because I could have them do several different colors in like their little test samples or test bag, or goodness gracious, test bottles. So that is what I used when I started doing more signs. So yeah, I recommend the color you like and the paint you like, and you can always treat them differently for different results. So like if you use an acrylic and you use a non-yellowing sealer, you're gonna be fine. And again, guys, I'm gonna start at the top, work around the sides, and then meet back in the middle. We're gonna go both directions. Can't do that when we burnish per se, but I think we're gonna be fine. Gonna be fine. So there he is on our lime. Y'all, that's cute on that lime green. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's add our stencil. All right, so this one we're gonna have a little bit more of our stencil, and I'm gonna do a little bit darker, because remember I told you I'm gonna go over it with that wax. And that's another thing too, guys. If you use chalk paint, you can use wax. Use a clear wax as your sealer and you'll be fine. Okay. What do y'all think? I think he is precious. So, I'm gonna take my white, just like I did on the other. All right. Y'all have to tell me now which one you like better. So we have our green bunny and our pink bunny. Which one do we like better, y'all? They're gonna look adorable sitting next to each other. Y'all, so cute. So just two different colors. Look how much that changes the project. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And these bunnies, guys, you need to go grab the bunnies. And my code Craft Treasures does save at checkout. If you have any questions, guys, drop them down in the comments below and we'll go back through and answer them. So y'all be blessed. Have a wonderful weekend and I'll see y'all next week. Bye, guys.